Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we are doing a yes or no tarot reading. Pick a card. We have 3 piles to pick from. We have pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3. You can ask more than one question if you have more than one question, or you can ask one question. Totally down to you, boo. You do you. And I'll give you a second to zone in to your own intuition, and then we'll get stuck in. So take a moment. And we're going in. My throat is still jacked up. I don't know what is happening. Let's see what's happening for pile number 1. I feel like it's meant to go like this, so I'm going to rearrange. Not that it really makes much difference, but I was just being told. Pile number 1, this is a yes. I feel like you're being asked to step out of your comfort zone, to stop seeing things, or not even to stop seeing things from a certain perspective, but you have been seeing things from a certain perspective, and that perspective has kind of stopped you from progressing and moving forward. And it's crazy, right? Because when you look at this hanged man, no matter what deck he's in, well, most decks, should I say, not all of them, he has this ring of light around his head, which means that he's got all these fantastic ideas, right? His mind is very active. His mind is very active, but it's almost like his mind is very active, but he's just hanging there. And the joke of the matter is, he could really work himself free from this rope at any moment, at any given time he wants to, but he don't. He almost looks comfortable, no? And what do we say about comfort zones? When you're stuck in your comfort zone, it's almost trying to think of the word that I want to say, but I can't. It's not about the comfort zone. It's about this 6 of Wands energy here. It's about stepping out and claiming. I want to say claiming yourself, because I feel that maybe for a long time you didn't really know who you were or what you were capable of and stuff. And yeah, this 6 of Wands energy is listen, boo, it's time to step out. It's time for people to see you. It's time for you to just get out and about and do you. And I feel with this 6 of Pentacles here, I see a community, and I think for a while maybe you weren't able to participate in a lot of stuff. Maybe financially you was a bit stuck, but I think with this 6 of Pentacles, you're finally able to give back, or to be a part of this community. And I want to say give back, but it's more than that. It's a community. It's more than. It's a community. It's a community, and I think that you're in the space now where you're a bit more stable. So let me take off my top, because I don't know why this happens to me, but every time I do tarot readings and stuff, I either get extremely hot, or I start getting my throat starts going and my nose starts going. Anyway, moving back to what we was talking about. It's this community, and I feel you built this community, and I feel you built it in a time where you was kind of stuck. And now that you're kind of unstuck and you're in a good place, with this 6 of Wands energy, and this 6 of Wands energy is kind of pushing you out, and it's almost now you have the opportunity to actually meet these people in real life, to host, maybe host a gathering or a party or something, and there's some kind of community thing happening with pile number 1. And it's great, right? Because I said, for a long time it's you were financially stuck and you couldn't do a lot of stuff, whereas now you've got a bit more stability, you can. And I think for a long time you was kind of stuck in this hanged man position where you could only see a certain way, you couldn't see past the end of your nose. But something big shifted for pile number 1, and all I'm hearing on repeat is it's time to show up. It's time to show up and show out. It's time to be seen. It's time to bring yourself to the world. It's time to make your move. It's time to invest. It's time to shift your perspective. It's time to yes is yes is yes. It's just yes, let's move. Let's get this going. Let's move forward. I do see like a lot of passion in this too. Like there's a lot of like oranges and reds, and it feels very passionate, and this is something that you've thought about a lot, and it's like that activation of passion. And this Six of Wands energy, I keep being drawn to this. You know, sometimes when I do tarot and stuff, there's the most basic of things that I'm pulled to, and I feel like this Six of Wands is the main energy. It's like, yeah, it's time to like show up, boo. It's time to like really like break out of this comfort zone and move back into the world and show the world what you've got, and hand out business cards or promote yourself or do something. It's time to do something. It's time to take action. It's very fire. It's very very earth. Two very practical, present kind of energies, because you have fire, which is all about movement, action, passion, and then you have earth, which is very practical, very now, very present type energy, if that makes any sense. There was another word I was looking for, but you've been watching me for a long time, you know me and words, we're not best friends, you know. But yeah, and like with this like Hanged Man energy, I think the Hanged Man is connected to Neptune, if I remember correctly. So it's almost like otherworldly. It's like dreaming. It's beyond the veil. It's beyond the normal. It's beyond the norm, you know. And you're bringing that through, and you're that channel. You know, if you're worried about people not getting it, it's not even about people not getting it. It's about you have that gift. That's your gift. You're not meant to be the same as everybody else. You bring that energy through you. You bring that Neptunian energy through you, and you bring that different, out of the bag, off the wall, crazy energy to whatever it is you're trying to bring through. Even if it's just bringing yourself to the world, like there's that otherworldly energy that you harness, and the world flipping needs it. The world needs you to show up, that's for sure. And the world needs you to like give yourself to the world. I keep saying this a lot at the moment, like the world needs you, boo. It's that simple. And I'm gonna move on to pole number 2, so let me know if that resonates for you. And listen, with this Neptunian Hangman energy, those wild thoughts, wild, do you know that Rihanna song? Well, maybe not, but the wild thoughts part anyway. Think outside the box, you know. If you do have a lot of like what I like to call woo-woo stuff that you know, bring it through. You're that channel, you're the harness, you're the voice that needs to say what needs to be said, you know. So let's see what's happening for pile number 2. Pole number 2, this feels like a no, and I'm only saying no because you just feel there's a very stuck energy with pole number 2. And I think that with this strength card, if my chair loves to just creak, please just ignore it. It's got a mind of its own these days. No matter what I do, it wants to like creak. This strength card usually brings a lot of courage and strength, obviously, and a lot of like Leo energy, but today it's telling me about this amount of control you have over yourself, and it's good to be in control of yourself, but to the extent that you're blocking your own blessings, and you know there's just constant conflict. And maybe, you know, like I feel like the low vibration of a Leo is very egotistical and stubborn and all that kind of stuff, and maybe that's the energy that you're in at the moment, where you're very stubborn and I know best and all this kind of stuff. But you'll probably notice that you're probably having a lot of arguments. Maybe you feel like you've constantly got to defend yourself. It's like you're living behind this wall. But I think with pole number 2, it's time to like really like look at how controlling you're being. It's good to be in control of yourself, but you can't control other people. And to a certain extent, if you're controlling yourself to the degree of like blocking your blessings, then it's time to look within and go back inside and see what the hell is going on. Like what has triggered you, or what's happened for you to feel the need to have this much amount of control, right? Because what's the other side of that? What's the fear behind the control? What will happen if you lost control? You know? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, when you look at the strength card now, I mean, let's have a look at here. You know, we've got the lion here and the nice sharp teeth. I'm pretty sure that, like, there's a fear sitting right behind this control. And maybe it's that whole saying of, like, once bitten, twice shy or something like that. But I think when you realise that you're not really hurting yourself, maybe you feel like this guy here where it's like, you know, like you're winning. But winning at the expense of what, though? Because the people around you seem to be very unhappy. And it's not necessarily about them, but our relationships are a reflection of ourselves, right? So if the people around us are feeling hurt by our actions and whatever, at some point, you do have to be intelligent enough to say, okay, is there something that I'm not really picking up on about myself? And is there something I really need to look at? And when I look at this card, and to be honest with you, there's something that you've got to pay attention to. And I think it's really about control and why you're afraid to lose that control, or there's just this fear. I can just feel a fear, a certain fear radiating from pole number 2. And I think that, like, this guy here is like, that's not a good spot to be in. If this person is you, like, you've got to win no matter what. It doesn't matter who you hurt and whatever. Then it really is time to, like, look in the mirror, because you're hurting other people, but what you're really doing is hurting yourself. And when I see this card here, like the 9 of Wands, all I keep hearing when I look at that card is you're blocking your own blessings. Like, you think you're doing something by being that in control, but what you're actually doing is you're blocking your blessings. And even if, like, you look at this card properly, there's no one around. Like, who are you, like, what's the fight? What are you afraid of? There's no one around. Apart from this little, I don't know if it's a lizard or a salamander, or I don't know what that is. It looks like a lizard to me, but that's all that's there, and that's your buddy, though. Like, he's not going to hurt you, is he? That's your mate. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I can't see anybody else here apart from these 2 people that seem very hurt. I can't see anybody else here. So this really is about you. And the reason why it's a no is because you're literally blocking your own blessings. And I think that, like, the control, whatever it is you need to have, like, that's really something you've got to work on, especially if it is going to, like, block you and hurt other people. Because, again, I'm going to repeat it because people don't get it. When you hurt other people, you're just hurting yourself. And let's just even drop the word karma as well. And, you know, sometimes karma skips you and hits your kids. So, you know, like, you've got to really be mindful of what it is you're doing and why you're reacting the way that you are. Because there's a choice. I know a lot of people get triggered by just me opening my mouth, but there's a choice. And if you're choosing to be this guy, if you're, like, because it is a choice, like, you do know right from wrong at this point. If you're grown, you know the difference. I mean, even kids know the difference between right and wrong most of the time, like 90% of the time. But if, like, it's a choice at this point, because you know what's right and you know what's wrong, and you know that whatever it is triggering you. So if you know that you're getting triggered by something, instead of, like, lashing out and taking it out on other people, why don't you just, like, figure out what the trigger is and heal that trigger, so you don't have to hurt yourself and others, and stop blocking your bloody, like, blessings as well. Like, who, you know. And you know what's crazy is, I just heard this too, is that sometimes this cycle can be a form of self-abuse, and there seems to be a lot of that in the air at the moment, and I don't know why. I honestly don't actually want to tap into that energy, because myself, I will be triggered, and I feel this trigger myself already, because I'm picking up on it for the last 2 weeks. There's a lot of like self-abuse, or like a lot of negative energy towards the self, which I understand coming from a certain place myself, but also, like, you've got to figure out at some point why do you feel the need to be in this cycle of hurting yourself, because it always comes back to you, right? So it's like, these conversations, they're mad. I feel like these conversations need to be had in person, but it's a general reading, you know, so it's hard. But I heard that this is a very toxic cycle that you have with yourself, and it's a form of abuse. It's that simple. It's a form of abuse. That it's like, I don't know why, like, mental health at the moment is really loud, and the way that we're treating ourselves seems to be like not in a good place and all that kind of stuff. But I think the reason that this stuff is coming up and why it's kind of really loud right now is because there's no more time to play about. Like, it's time to get real with yourself. It's time to get like, take yourself seriously, take your mental health seriously, really like work on yourself and who you are. Like, there's no more fucking around. Like, there's not. Like, you really want to go through the rest of your life just repeating these cycles and never really being happy? I don't think you do. And at some point you have to turn that, like, self-hatred into love again, because to know that amount of self-hate is to also know the same amount of self-love. You can't have one without the other. There's the polarity. Is polarity the word? Duality? I don't know. You only know that amount of I don't like the word hate, because it's such a weird word, but if you know that amount of, like, hate and negativity towards yourself, it's because you know, like, you know it, like, you know within yourself, you know that your heart is big, right? You know it. You know the amount of love you have within yourself. You know it. And, you know, life experiences can kind of batter us down, and we can take on other people's, you know, like, projections and perceptions, and wear it like it's our own, and it's not. So if your mental health at the moment is not in a good place, I want you to understand that if you feel a certain way about yourself, like, it's because you know the other end of it. It's like, you cannot have dark without light, and you can't have light without dark. You can't experience, like, the good without the bad, you know? There's an opposite to absolutely everything, and you can only experience one with the other. You can't have them without each other, you know? I feel like I'm waffling, so I'm going to try and wrap it up. But pile number 2, this is a no. And I think, like, this week ahead, and maybe even for a little while, I'm feeling like it's going to be a little bit of a journey at the moment to figure out what this self-control is, and why your control is at a toxic level, and why you want to block your own blessings. Because the fact of the matter is, you do deserve to be happy. Everybody deserves to be happy. So pole number 2, it's really about, like, looking at yourself and figuring out what this trigger is and breaking that cycle, because it's time to really stop hurting yourself. Pile number 2, let me know if that resonates with you. I'm sorry if it was a bit harsh. Well, sorry, not sorry, because sometimes you need to hear certain things in it. I know I did when I was in a certain situation, so I hope you understand that I say it with love and compassion, even if it, you know, I'm a Leo, so I know that I don't always come across that way. My passion can definitely be misunderstood as aggression sometimes, when it's really not, but honestly, it comes from a place of love and a place of knowing myself. And I really do hope that you guys break that cycle, because what's on the other side of that 9 of Wands, trust me, you deserve it. Let's see what's happening for pile number 3. Straight off the bat, pile number 3, I'm hearing yes, like the wait is over. Like the wait is over. And it's crazy, because when I said the word wait, I heard it in both forms of, like, the time and the heaviness. So for some of you, you could literally, like, the wait, the time is like the time is over, like that period of whatever it is you was going through, because you was going through something with this Five of Cups here. Like you was going through something. This is sadness, this is the past, this is all the things that didn't work out. But what you're failing to realize is you still have the Two of Cups, and whenever I see the Two of Cups, you know what I'm saying. You know what the Two of Cups means, right? Just saying. So I think that on that level, like the wait is over. Like the wait, the Three of Wands energy, like that waiting for something to return, that is over, because we've got the Three of Cups here, which is celebration, community, gatherings, all kinds of fun stuff. And the other one was like the heaviness. And when you look at like this Five of Cups here, you can see, right, the man's cloaked. I don't say weight as in body weight, although it could be. I mean, this is a general reading, it could come to all kinds of things, you know. But like the heaviness, the denseness of the weight that you've been carrying and stuff, whether it is physically or mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, like it's over. Like the next stage is here, the next stage of your life is here. And I don't feel like there's really much else to say with pile number 3, which is really weird, because yeah, I don't know, but I just keep hearing like the wait is over. The wait is over. Maybe some of you as well, like I just noticed something in this Three of Wands. Maybe some of you are actually going to be travelling. And I only say that because of like the water and the ships, and then you've got like the pyramids in the background. So some of you could actually be travelling as well. Maybe like travelling overseas, maybe even going to Egypt. Or some place where they have pyramids. Going on a cruise, maybe. Maybe you've got some friends across the pond that you're going to meet up with. Maybe like a long distance relationship even. Maybe your worry, maybe the weight that you was carrying was the worry that maybe this situation, maybe like your friends across the pond or whatever, maybe, or a partner that lived across the pond or whatever, maybe your worry was that it was never going to become of anything because they're across the pond. Like, how will it work? Well, let me tell you something. You've got the Two of Cups down there. It's going to work out. If you're both on the same page, like, there's nothing that can stop you. And it seems like this person here is waiting for something. Maybe he's waiting for one of these ships to rock up so we can hop on and go to the other side of the pond and to celebrate and to come together with whoever they're coming together with. Friends, potential partner, whatever. But in a general sense, it's I don't know if I said this already, it's a yes, because the wait is over. Like, it's literally like throw the cape off, you know, like chuck it to the side. It's like move forward, you know. There's a bridge here as well, like in the background there's a bridge. It's like time to walk over that bridge, time to move on, time to get to that castle that's sitting there in the background. You're moving past whatever these Three of Cups over here, whatever these 3 spilled cups mean to you individually. Like, you're moving past that. So if you was worried about like where you're going from here, or maybe you can't see the next step forward, and you don't need to. All you need to know right now is like that experience, that energy, it's like it's over. That period, that time frame, that stagnancy, whatever it is over. It's going to be time to celebrate. There's going to be fun. There's going to be movement. There's going to be a lot more than what you've been experiencing. And that's all I had to say for pile number 3. I was thinking maybe there's something else I need to tell pile number 3, but apparently not. So that's all I've got to say for pile number 3. Let me know if that resonates in the comment section below. And I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye.